Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have quarterly results from Zscaler. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist for Epistrophy Capital Research. We look at the 50 most important companies in technology. Zscaler, I would say, is one of the 2 or 3 most important companies in all of cybersecurity. So this quarter is interesting because we can see what spending is happening like at all companies in cybersecurity, perhaps, but Zscaler specifically. And of course, friend of the show, Jay Chaudhry, has been on our Drill Down podcast a few times, although it's been a little while. I'll reach out. We'll get him back. But when we look at these quarterly numbers, fourth quarter numbers for 2025, fiscal year 2025, and wrapping up the year with a better than estimates, a lot better than my estimates, better than Wall Street estimates as well, specifically showing 21% revenue growth at $719 million in the quarter. The number they report, their annual recurring revenue up over $3 billion, $3.015 billion, showing that they've got a lot of customers signed up for a long time. When we look a little bit deeper beyond those headline numbers, and we can do that, they talked a lot about some of the products that are really working for them. There's Zscaler AI Guard, which is really interesting. When you think about what AI is doing to cybersecurity, it's twofold. One is the hackers are just so much better than they've ever been. They can do incredible exploits really quickly at a pace of innovation that is faster than anything ever seen before. And the other thing is that because that means so many hacks, so many infinitely more hacks than we've seen in recent years, that the systems themselves, those systems from Zscaler and competitors like Palo Alto Networks, are really automated to catch a lot of stuff and not bother the people at the Security Operations Center until something really significant or really weird is happening. And that automated AI response, that agentic AI we're hearing so much about, is happening at Zscaler, and they're selling this, and it's working. So the systems like their Zscaler AI Guard is really working for them. It's called Zscaler because it's about zero trust. Zero trust is not about firewalls. Zero trust is just about knowing who someone is once they're inside of the wall and knowing what that each individual should have access to. And zero trust everywhere has been their motto for a very long time there. And they've got dozens of, hundreds of customers who are putting zero trust in every single user. Their data security business also, their data security everywhere, annual recurring revenues of $425 million in the quarter, or at this point, I should say, selling some really big deals. They talked to the call, they didn't say who, but a Fortune 500 customer who has a multiple module, 350,000 user deal that's going to be worth at least $1 million, 7 figures, they said, to this company, to Zscaler, ongoing. And profitability, their operating profits hit 22%. Their operating margins, I should say, that's their adjusted operating profits. Their GAAP operating profits negative, but barely negative, improving operating margins. Their guidance calling for strong revenue growth and actually picking up a little bit of 22%, and free cash flow growth as well. Now, one of the reasons they're able to do this is because their bigger customers are growing faster than their smaller customers. Their customers spending over $1 million a year are growing at 17%. So even as they are having double-digit growth, 13% growth in their smaller customers, their giant customers are growing faster. That's a great sign. It means their smaller customers are becoming big, or they're signing bigger deals. Either way, it's a better deal for Zscaler. And as a result, their billings, and that was, to me, is the most impressive thing. Billings up 32% on a year-over-year basis. Again, that's on the heels of a 21% revenue increase. So really positive signs. The market liked these numbers. Initially, the stock rallied fantastically in after-hours trading, ending up about 3% for the after-hours session, up 37% in the last year. If I'm looking at the S&P 500, up only 13% in the last year. So better than 3 times what the S&P 500 did. Now, that record bookings number, total contract value is another way to look at it, $1.5 billion, up 30%. Book to bill, so comparing what revenues are growing, how much they're actually billing versus their order of business. And that was up on big times, up 1.6 times book to bill numbers, up 9% on a year-over-year basis. So that notion of zero trust and companies adopting zero trust and tossing out their old firewall solutions, here's what CEO Jay Chaudhry had to say about it.
That if you want zero trust, you can't depend upon firewalls for security. So firewalls have to go. Somehow these old boxes take a lot longer to go sometimes than we want them to. First, I think the firewall appliances in the branch are the first to go. And the launch of Zero Trust Branch by Zscaler has been playing an important role. And since we introduced our unified Zero Trust branch, which combines actually segmentation, air gap segmentation, with elimination of firewalls and like, the interest has gone through the roof. In fact, the only two products that Zscaler has seen that don't require any demand generation because there's so much demand out there.
So much demand, it sells itself. That's not what the marketing department wants to hear. I'm sure they're working really hard at marketing, even if the CEO doesn't believe it. But what's it all mean? What's your big drill on earnings takeaway? And what's the one number that tells us a whole lot? Well, I've got that. Zscaler fiscal 2025 Q4 earnings were pretty good. Here's your essential summary. 21% year-over-year revenue growth of $719 million. 3.015 billion in annual recurring revenues. And yet that's not the bite, the one number that tells us a whole lot. The most important number to remember here, if you can remember it, is $1,202,690,200. Let me try that again. $1,202,267,000 in billings. Fantastic growth. Those numbers up nearly 40% on a year-over-year basis. Really strong calculated billings growth for this company and for Zscaler, showing cybersecurity demand around Zero Trust is really strong. Thanks for checking out Drill Down Earnings. Hey, subscribe to us. Subscribe to us on YouTube or on Instagram and TikTok at Drill Down Pod, or subscribe to my tweets at Cory TV on X. Thanks for checking us out.